Hey, Michigan Maniacs. This is the Michigan Maniac Podcast, and I am your host, Adam Brewer. This is the reaction episode, Big Ten title game. It still sounds great to say. Uh, all right, guys, before we get into it, we're going to do some housekeeping. That's right. Hit me up on all social media, right? Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, anywhere. I'll get back to you no matter what. We usually have a great time, even if you are a sensible, and I'll put this out here, even if you are a sensible Ohio State fan. I would say this about Michigan State fans, but I've never met one, so I don't know if they exist. But I say the same thing if you do exist out there. If you just come at me the right way, we can have a great conversation. It'd be awesome. I don't mind talking football, and I don't mind talking about Big Ten football or even the Michigan Ohio State struggle or any of that. I don't mind doing it. But you come at me like an asshole, I want to treat you like one. So just remember, I'm a mirror. However you want to be treated, that's how it's going to happen. It's going to come right back to you. Whatever you see, that's what you're getting. But yeah, I've had a lot of really good conversations with some reasonable Buckeye fans lately, and it's been actually interesting. So I don't mind doing it. Also, guys, if you are leaving reviews on other apps, then this is something I just found out that people have been doing because I don't get that information. If you're doing it, say like if you listen to on like Pod Addict or Podbean or something like that, and you're leaving like reviews or whatever on there, I don't get notified on those. The only way that I get notified is if you hit up Apple Podcasts. So if you guys want to leave the review, get the stickers, all that kind of stuff, hit me up on Apple Podcasts, leave the 5-star review there. That'll help me out way more because that's the only way I get notified. All these other places, I don't get notified at all. So that'd be greatly appreciated because I don't want you out there just thinking I'm ignoring you. I just want you to know I have no clue that they even exist. Okay, let's get into this. Sorry, first of all, for being so late. I just had one hell of a trip. Being out in Arizona, visiting some fans, watching Michigan football. I guarantee you, the Sunday, or no, actually the Saturday reaction episode would have been intelligible. Like you couldn't even tell what I was saying. Like it's unintelligible. I was out of my gourd. Uh, I had to go back and rewatch the game just because the fourth quarter seemed a little hazy. There's some plays I was like, wow, that really happened? Oh shit. Yeah, so just so you know, I was having a great time. Paid for it Sunday morning. Paid for it big time Sunday morning. And then Sunday morning was just me trying to recover and getting to getting out of the hotel, getting to the airport, doing all that stuff. So, travel day took it out of me. I didn't get home till late, and then now here we are. So, sorry for the delay, but I mean, that kind of gives us a chance to listen to all the other podcasts to kind of relax, enjoy, rewatch highlights after highlights because I know that's what I was doing. I was watching highlight after highlight after highlight. And you know, one of the best ones to watch, oh, it's not even really a highlight, but one of the things I was watching on YouTube, or actually it was ESPN at the time, uh, Joey Galloway being so salty about about us being in the playoffs. I mean, and I almost gave the guy props a couple of days before because he seemed to handle us whipping his Ohio State Buckeyes pretty badly. He seemed to handle it okay. Like he tried to give as best of a reaction or best insight as he could. I mean, what are you gonna? You can't spin it very well for Ohio after that game. So and then even going into the Big Ten title game, he was all right. Not great, but all right. Better than he's ever been so far. Because he's one of the Ohio State Buckeyes I can't stand to listen to on ESPN, and for the most part, I don't. Him, and then there's a Northwestern guy named Mike Wilbon, if you've ever heard of him, for PTI. He sucks too. Most of his other takes are fine, but when it comes to the Big Ten and Michigan, it's you can tell he hates Michigan so much he refuses to talk about him, or he'll just say, "Well, he picked Iowa to beat us," and then he looks at Tony and he goes, "And I know my Big Ten." Well, obviously you don't know shit about the Big Ten because you would never have picked Iowa to win that fucking game. I mean, anyways, I get so annoyed with some of these guys just because they hate Michigan so much. But to be fair, if I was in their shoes, I'd probably be doing the same fucking thing. I probably would. I'm a hater in a lot of ways. I would hate to have to constantly, year after year, while Michigan were going through their struggles, have to find to say something positive about Ohio State. I would hate it. It would drive me literally insane. So I get it. But anyways, I watched all the videos. It was fantastic. I loved every second of it. I mean, first of all, how fast is JJ McCarthy? Holy crap! Right? I mean, I know Blake Corum is still injured, not 100%, but wow. I know also Blake had to slow down to do, change up some speeds or whatever, but still, to watch your quarterback get out there and be one of the blocks, even though they weren't great blocks, but still to get in the way to create any type of help for his running back and to have the speed to do it is freaking phenomenal. And he can throw. I don't. I don't know how. God bless Cade McNamara. Really, God bless the kid because he is Jim Carnett, Jim Carnett, Jim Harbaugh incarnate is what I'm trying to say. I mean, literally, if Jim Harbaugh, I swear, if Jim Harbaugh could create a coachable quarterback, right, that he would love to have, it would be Cade McNamara. He doesn't. He's unflappable. Like if he stresses, you don't know it. He lives for the coach. He lives for Michigan football. He lives to play football. He's competitive in everything he does. This is the one quarterback that Jim Harbaugh goes to bed every night praying for, and he got him in Cade McNamara. But he's just not J.J. McCarthy. I love Cade. I'm back on the Cade train. I'm not asking for him to be benched or nothing. I don't. Even though he annoys me sometimes with his play. But then again, Cade McNamara plays up and down according to the talent he's playing against. I mean, I think he's going to play out of his gourd against Georgia. I have no doubt in my mind Cade McNamara is going to show up against Georgia. Uh, but I think, yeah, but he's not JJ. JJ is phenomenal. I mean, just think about. I know it's odd when they move him in and out of the game, right? And he only gets like 2 plays here and 2 plays there, whatever. But I heard Devin Gardner say this, and it makes a lot of sense. Um, Obviously, a lot of things that guy says makes a lot of sense. But to be able to come off the sideline, not being fresh, not being in the game, not doing any of that, and then be able to drop dimes the way that kid does is impressive. It tells you to his talent, to his focus, to everything. I I think it's going to be that's one of the things I cannot wait to see, and I wish I lived in Michigan or was a part of the media because I hope they'd be able to see it firsthand. Is some of the practices because I actually don't think Michigan opens practices. Anyways, I just can't wait to see the results of that quarterback battle between JJ and Cade next season. I think it's going to be epic because I think Cade's going to continue to get better. Cade's only going to get better because I mean, let's face it, this is Cade's first year starting. That's impressive. Everything that this kid has done, no matter how much he's irritated me in some of these games, it's still impressive to take this team, the jinx, the everything on his shoulders and just carry us across that line. Obviously, he's got a lot of help, but the quarterback shoulders most of the blame and the success of whatever a team does. Um, so, I mean, great props to that kid. Fantastic. Uh, I just don't know how you overcome the wave that's going to be JJ McCarthy because JJ has the confidence, just like Cade. But he has better arm talent. He's faster. I don't know. I don't know. This is a true Clemson ordeal, like Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. Kelly Bryant, if you all remember, took Clemson, and I think did they win or lose in that? I know they were in the national title game, but I can't remember if they lost it or not. I think they did lose to Alabama that year because they beat Alabama the year previous with Watson. And I think they lost to Alabama the next year, but went to a national title game. Next year, second game of the season gets pulled. gets benched for Trevor Lawrence, and then the rest is history. I just have a real strong feeling that this is what that is. I really do. I made the comparison a long time ago, and I want to try and find the audio clip of where I compare Cade and JJ. This is before JJ even took a snap to Kelly Bryant and Trevor Lawrence. There's a part in there where I make stupidly I make the comparison of Watson to or Milton to Watson. Not one of my brighter takes. I'll tell you, I wasn't really super excited how that one played out. But hey, what are you gonna do? I love to bite it. I love getting swept up in hype. That is one of my favorite things to do. I mainline that blue Gatorade all day long, kid. So yeah, I bought it on Milton way too soon. But I think my comparisons between Cade and JJ with the others are pretty close. And then also, it's starting to look a lot like what we as Michigan fans have seen, if you're old enough, Drew Henson and Tom Brady. And that's starting to look a lot like that as well. So we'll see how this all plays out. It's going to be very interesting. One of the true exciting things for next season. I'm still calling national title next season. So either we have it, we have one, we're defending national champs, or well, we're just going to go win it. So it just all depends on how that breaks out. But so cool moment there. Loved how that started. I mean, I love watching Blake Corum run. The way he can cut and just bounce out is so impressive. I love it. I just a huge fan. I really wish he wouldn't have hurt his ankle because I think we would have had two, count them, two running backs over 1,000 yards. So really excited to see what he brings next season. And then can we talk about how bright the future is of Michigan football? Then you talking about the third star of the future of Michigan football, Donovan Edwards. I don't think there's anything that guy can't do. Great runner. I mean, he's only going to get better at the running. Like seeing the holes, being able to keep his feet, not getting tripped over by shoestring tackles, that kind of thing, because he's so close to just breaking out big, 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 big runs. And you see him, it happens, but more occasions than not, he's going to do that. And then one hand catches, he receives better than almost. He's a wide receiver basically who has a running back's body. Uh, he's God. Now he can throw the ball. I mean, and just think of what you can do with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards in the backfield next season with J.J. McCarthy. Holy shit! You don't know what they're going to do. You have no idea what they're going to do. And with those wide receivers returning, with Andrew Anthony, Roman Wilson, I I don't know if CJ is still. I don't know what he is. I think he's eligible still. I mean, Ronnie Bell back. Holy crap! What are you going to do? How are you going to stop us? Eric Hall? I mean, Schoonmaker. Maybe Schoonmaker's a senior, but anyways, still, what are you going to do? We're too powerful. I cannot wait. Like, I'm so excited about the future of this team. Harbaugh's so right. It is the beginning of something. 100 is a percent a beginning of something. It's just think of the combinations. Holy crap! And then McDonald sticks around, and who knows what future defensive stars we have. I mean, Braden McGregor. They compare him to Hutch all the time. So let's see if he can really do it. I mean, he looks just like the kid. Yeah, so let's see what happens. By the way, isn't it great just to see Hutchinson with his family? Or just, I love every second of that. I just being a father myself, so I always when I see that, um, I always put myself in that position, right? Because I have a son and he's doing fantastic, and he's was special ops, and then he was now he's with aircrew, and he's just continuing to kill it in the Navy, and he owns his own house, and he's just every time I talk to him, he's just an amazing person. So just the pride you can see, right, in their eyes when they look at him. Oh, it's so great. I love it. I love good families. When you see a really good family. Now maybe they're it's pure hell when we're not looking at them, but boy, out in the public eye they look fantastic, and I really think they're fantastic people. That's what I'm banking on. Um, yeah, I love that. Oh, let's talk about Hutch for Heisman. That whole chant when they're all holding the ball, like first of all, watching Harbaugh raise the ball over his head was amazing. It kind of reminded me as a Denver Bronco fan as watching John Elway get his first Super Bowl. Because I was in disbelief when we won the Super Bowl that first time. Because as a Bronco fan, you know nothing but pain when it comes to the Super Bowl up until that moment. You know nothing of pain. You know just we go to the Super Bowl and we get blown out. That was the only thing we've ever known and in Denver. I mean, Giants like 39 to 18 or something like that. Um, then we lose to the Washington Redskins 42 to 10. Then we lose to the San Francisco 49ers 55 to 10. That 42 to 10 fiasco against the Redskins, my father literally had to pull me out of the basement because I was screaming and yelling so much about why we were losing, and pulled me out of the basement, took me to an A&W root beer, got me in root beer float, and we went to go see Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I'll never forget it. I was so miserable. Ah, the pain. So I'm a maniac. When I love a team, I'm a maniac regardless. I'm a little bit more of a Michigan maniac. Well, one because I do a podcast, but two, I think the super fan died in me that day of Denver Broncos. I think the maniac got crushed in that because I didn't really give a shit when when Denver lost to San Francisco. It hurt, but it didn't hurt anywhere near. And then when we won, I was in disbelief. I couldn't believe it. The maniac reawoke a bit, but it never got back to the same levels it was. But uh, yeah, watching John Elway get hit and do that helicopter, the house I was in, I thought it was going to come crashing down because it erupted in such a loud scream. It was unbelievable. Great moment. And me watching Ohio State, I couldn't believe that we'd won. This one, I knew we were going to win. I didn't know how bad we were going to win. I was at 38 to 13, I think I said. I was close. I mean, only time in the last two meetings I was faced as they can only muster 3 points each time. So I should have, known. But uh, I knew we were going to win. I mean, I know Iowa has a great defense, and they showed it. They really did. Their linebackers were really good. Um, I I have a great appreciation for their linebackers now and their blitzing and stuff like that. That was actually really well executed. But it doesn't matter how good your defense is. You can have the best defense in the world, right? But if your offense can't move the ball, your defense will slow down, will get gassed, and then will be exposed. I mean, look what happened with Georgia. Alabama, and plus, if you don't get pressure on Alabama's quarterback, you're a moron. I don't know if you didn't think you needed to get pressure on a Heisman candidate. Maybe I don't know. I don't coach football, but you would think that'd be a number one priority because those, like I've always told you, wide receivers can't be great if their quarterback's on his back. If their quarterback's scared, wide receivers can't be great. And Georgia just let that guy camp back there. He could have set up a bed, taken a nap, got up for work, taken a shower, and still had plenty of time to throw the ball 80 yards downfield and split two Georgia defenders for a touchdown. Like, this kid was unbelievable. I mean, I want Hutch for Heisman. I absolutely want this kid to win it because I think he affects the game. Let's put it this way. Um, in my opinion, when a defensive player is on the Heisman level, when a defensive player can affect a game, right? When he makes a play, it's more important, in my opinion. It has more power to it than if a quarterback's throwing four touchdowns. I understand. In my opinion, it's easier for a quarterback to throw four touchdowns, right? Because he has so many weapons that he can throw them to get that play accomplished, right? But a defensive player only has himself to create those problems. Now, I guess you could say he has the help of the defensive line to help push the quarterback out one way to run him back into Hutch. Sure, okay, fair point, I guess. But to me, one or two sacks changes a game. It can change field position. It can change from a 3rd and 2. It has to put you into a position that you have to punt. because maybe now it's 4th and 12. You know, maybe if it's a 4th and 1, you decide you can go for it, but a 4th and 12 you can't, or you're crazy to. You know, I just think that a quarterback can have 2 to 3 touchdowns in a 400-yard football game, and you can still be in a close game, or maybe even lose it, depending on the amount. You know what I mean, or who you're playing. But I think a defensive player can just really change. I mean, the reason why we really beat Ohio State, it wasn't that we really stopped them much. We really didn't. They moved the ball up and down. We strangled them out in the red zone, and what we did was back to back in that third quarter, back to back 3-and-outs, and our offense did exactly what they needed to do. They scored touchdowns. Because of that, we won that game. And I think one or both of those back to backs were caused by sacks, or a sack, or then some other great defensive play, and I can't remember who it was. But you see what I mean? Like, I don't know. In my opinion, I think if a defensive player ever shows up and really does create havoc, I think that should be noted, and I think that deserves a little bit more respect than what we, as a general college football society or whatever, give it. I mean, it's definitely the people who vote should rethink what they do. That's just my opinion. Now, this is what, the third week in a row, third or fourth week in a row that we did not kick one field goal in the red zone. I mean, you got to give it to Josh Gaddis. Fantastic play calling, right? Fantastic play calling. We are more aggressive now than we have ever been in the red zone. It's great to see that. Yes, it was frustrating in the beginning of the season, middle of the season, but man, when they finally gelled, when he finally got that play calling tuned in, right? Oh my God, we have not kicked one field goal. I'm not counting the Maryland one. I'm just not. It was a stupid chop block bullshit call. Roman Wilson made the catch in the end zone. To me, that's a touchdown. That's how it's going to stay. I don't care. But 3 weeks in a row now, not one field goal. Pretty amazing. Because I mean, as long as I've been a Michigan fan, was in the Harbaugh era, red zone efficiency has stunk. It just 100% stinks. Because I remember listening. Like I said, I went back and I listened to the 2018 the game reaction episode and the 2019 the game reaction episode. And you know, a lot of the things I said in there was our red zone efficiency sucked. So I knew it existed. So with it now being so finely tuned, very excited. Give it to Josh Gaddis. A fantastic job. Mike McDonald. What can you say? I mean, no matter what an offense, either how good or how bad it is, and you saw it, and the Ohio State offense, phenomenal, right? Just no matter what, that kid's making throws, and those wide receivers are catching pretty much fucking anything. Which some of those catches I still can't believe they made. And then you go to Iowa, like Iowa. It was like Madden. It was like the first Madden that came out where there's either toss left or toss right. It's just whatever. They were just stinky. It was awful. Oh, and then by the way, fuck that Padilla kid. Not that he's a bad kid, but I grew up in Denver, Colorado. He played for Cherry Creek High School. They basically paid players to go play at their school. They would use the coach's address to get players that lived out of the county or whatever to get them to play because it was not legal to do that. They are just, I mean, the epitome of, think of every rich, privileged school, and that is Cherry Creek High School. It is annoying. And just to watch a Cherry Creek Bruin get his ass kicked and knocked all over the field, I made me feel good. Made the little Denver public school kid feel better because we played Cherry Creek High School in our playoff. I played on my senior year. We went undefeated. One of the first Denver public schools teams to do that in a long time. Killing it. Looked great. And then we ran into Cherry Creek. I think we were a little nervous at the beginning. They kicked our ass in the first quarter, and then we outscored them the rest of the way. We even got into a fight out on the field. So, hey, you can take the guys out of the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out of the guys, baby. And we were fighting those rich dudes, and then yeah, we lost. We lost. It wasn't great. We lost. I remember walking off the field for the last time, thinking that I don't know if I'll ever step onto a football field again. It was absolutely the saddest moment of my well, one of the saddest moments of my life. Uh, just because I love the sport so much, and to know that I'd probably never step foot on there again, um, it really sucked. So I will forever hate Cherry Creek. Hate them. So yeah, it's great to see Padilla get his ass kicked. I wish him nothing but failure. I mean, I hope he finds a wife and has kids and has a great family or whatever, finds a nice job that he can make a living at. I don't want him to be homeless or anything. But as a football player, he can go fuck himself. So glad that ended the way that did for him. Just how cool was it too? I know I'm all over the place, but if you're a Michigan maniac, you know this is what I do anyways. It's just like whatever comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth. But Harbaugh, his Ring of Honor, how cool is that? Like just him being on the field with his name up in the Ring of Honor for Indy was really cool because I don't think people remember how good of a quarterback Harbaugh was with Indy. Captain Comeback himself. They basically got screwed in that AFC Championship game. They should have won that game. So just I don't know. I thought it was a neat moment. I don't know if anybody else did, but to me that was it was special. Just because Harbaugh was my first quarterback, and I don't know. Just I think it was a great moment for him. This whole season has been such a redemption for this man. Uh, I can't I can't be happier for him because I mean I was one who wanted his head. I wanted him out. I will not back away from that. I thought it was the best idea at the time. I'm so happy I'm wrong. I have never been more happy to be wrong in my life. I I really now I think that we have the culture set and the foundation really set and the blueprint created, and with this team being so young that this will set roots and this culture will grow and continue to be cultivated and taken care of. I mean, so I think we could really be looking at our Clemson, our version of Clemson coming up because we have so much talent. And God, it's like we broke Ohio. It's like we broke them. I mean, they're losing. They've lost a few commits. I mean, their number one quarterback just up and left. Not like they're hurting because they have C.J. Stroud, but still, holy crap! What was he? See, this is what a win can do. Now in recruiting, you can say, "See, look what we did." It's just not them anymore. It's just not them in the Big Ten. We're something too. And the whole recruiting world saw it, and there were aftershocks of it. So I love it. Just fantastic. Oh, okay. I just want to touch on this real quick. Two things, and then oh, sorry about that, guys. I knocked out my mic. That kind of fucked everything up. Sorry about that. Um, two more things, and then we'll get out. We'll get out of this episode. Oh, the 42-3. That was really crazy. Okay, so I have friends who are well, I have friends and I love a good conspiracy, but this has nothing to do with conspiracy, as in like the government thing. I just think it's crazy that it 42-3, right? Um, I guess it's more of a coincidence, I guess, and that's what now real tinfoil hat people will think it's some weird conspiracy. I just think it's a crazy coincidence, like when Tim Tebow threw for 316 yards in the playoff against the Steelers, and it happened to be 316 on the clock when he, or 31.6 seconds left when he threw the touchdown to beat the Steelers, and 316 is his favorite Bible verse. That kind of weird shit. That I thought was crazy, coincidental, but still crazy. But this 42-3, that is bonkers, right? Because Michigan didn't mean to do that. 42 is that kid's number. The 3 is for the remaining 3 kids that lost their life in that thing, in that awful school shooting. Um, just nutso. I mean, really, the Lord does work in mysterious ways. That's crazy. Like, I would have never imagined that the score would have matched that tragedy in any way, shape, or form. It's wacky. I just thought I saw that and I was like, holy crap. That just seemed really weird. A very odd coincidence. I guess it's just the Lord saying, "Hey, man, I'm here, letting you guys know." I'm just thankful that I feel bad for those parents. That's one of my worst nightmares when my son was in high school was that you just always hope that your kids never have to see that kind of light, that part of life. And then my son decides to go in the Navy. So now I got to worry if he's going to see that kind of life, that kind of nightmare on a global scale now. That kid loves to stress me out. Also, too, the last one, then we'll get out of here. The playoff. It's crazy how that thing panned out, right? I mean, not really. I mean, that's facetious. We all knew that's how that was going to pan out. There's no way the committee was going to have Alabama play Georgia again. They're ESPN and all those people want a SEC title game. That's what they want. They want it for the national title. They want it. The narrative has been set, right? Georgia was unbeatable. Then Alabama came in and whipped their ass. Now Georgia, oh, this was the wake up call we needed, right? Kirby Smart said. So now they're going to get their sweethearts in there. Alabama, we're going to get them in there because we're going to let them play the easiest one. We're going to let them play Cincy, and then we're going to make Georgia earn it. If they're going to want to win that national title, they got to earn it because they got to go through Michigan. I hope Cincinnati whips Alabama's ass because I don't think it's a lock that Alabama is going to beat Cincy. I don't think it's a lock. I mean, it's probably going to happen, but I don't think it's a lock. And then I definitely don't think Georgia's going to beat us. Like, yeah, it's going to be tough for us. Absolutely. They've got a great defense. But what I've noticed is that those defensive tackles, that Jordan Davis, he's good for about 4 plays. And then he's tired. Well, when you're, 6'8", 5,000 pounds, and you're just a big mountain of a man, of course, 4 plays is a lot for you. You know? You shouldn't be moving that fast. Your heart might explode. So I'm not overly. And then their offense, Stetson, Bennett. I don't know. I'm not overly impressed with that guy. You know who I am impressed with Georgia though is that Bowers kid. That tight end is the real deal. That dude can straight play ball. The running backs are okay. I mean, they're fast, so if you don't contain the edge like we've been known, but we've gotten a lot better. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to slam our linebackers and our. We've gotten so much better at the run and being able to cut off fast running backs. So I'm not really worried about their running attack. And like I said, you get pressure on their quarterback, he can't throw it to Bauer, and Bauer is the one kid I'm going to be nervous about because he's going to be in direct conflict with our linebackers. And as we all know, our linebackers can't cover. That's the only thing that scares the hell out of me about Georgia is that tight end. Outside of that, I think we can handle Georgia. I think our offense is going to be able to hit up. I think our offense will be able to move the ball fairly competently against Georgia. I really do. I watching Alabama do it. Alabama's great. They have a Heisman candidate and they have two amazing wide receivers. I understand. I know they're Alabama, but still, we're not shabby, and we have a ton of talent, and we've got speed. So, yeah, Georgia, take your best shot, baby, because we're not moving. And I would love to see a Michigan Cincinnati a national title game. I would love it. I would love to see the powers to be to try to set up this, try to get cutesy and set up this SEC national title game. I want to see it blow up right in their fucking face. I would love it. Absolutely love it. Because you knew it was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. As soon as Alabama took that lead in the halftime, you knew Alabama was going to be number one. There was no way. You can make great arguments you want for Michigan to be number one. It was never going to happen. Never. And when I knew Alabama was going to be one, Georgia was going to be three. You didn't even have to. I could have guessed it. Guess the order. I mean, as soon as that went in, it all mattered. All that mattered was if Michigan was going to win, so this way they could cement the order. Because as soon as Alabama won, it was Alabama 1, Georgia 3, Cincy 4. They were just waiting to see if we won, see if they put Alabama 1, Georgia 2, and then Cincy 3, and then like Notre Dame 4. right? They just had to see how it was going to pan out. That was it. That's all. It didn't matter. And that's why it's shitty, but it didn't matter. But to be quite honest, we had to play an SEC sooner or later if we're going to win the national title. So let's bring them on. Bring it on. Let's shock the world. Let's beat the shit out of whoever comes our way. And if not, let's go down swinging. That's all I ask. If we lose, let's just go down swinging. That's all I want. I'll be fine with it because this is all gravy, man. Like I told you, this is just now not the large extra fry you find in the bag of the seasons before. This is like a whole another value meal. Hell, you ordered a number three and you got a number six as well. Like that's crazy. This season is just off the charts fantastic. So, um, yeah, I can't wait. I'm going to be doing some other podcasts throughout. I mean, I would assume I'm going to be doing some basketball, uh, talking some stuff about the playoff probably, and some uh, playoffs and some bowl games and things like that. Also, Ask Me Anythings will continue, right? So get your questions in now for the Ask Me Anything coming up on Thursday or Friday, depending on when I have time to do it. Also, guys, leave your questions for Ask Me Anything on the actual post of Ask Me Anything, or DM me on Instagram your question, and I'll be able to get to it. Because all you guys, thank you for everyone who does leave questions. It's fantastic. But I'm a knucklehead, and I forget, like, oh, I forgot this guy left me a question on Twitter. Oh, this guy left me a message on this, and I forget. And then I screw it all up, and then I feel like an ass because you guys took time out of your day to, write good questions. And then I just forget it. So I don't want to seem like I'm being inconsiderate. Um, but wow, yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. Like, this was just a great 2 weeks, right? Like, has it not been just a dream 2 weeks? Like, this is just doesn't so great. I mean, I guess us Michigan fans should start expecting good things. I know that one thing we always like to say is, why can't we have nice things? Well, we have nice things now, and we need to upkeep them and take care of them and cherish it and really do everything we can to appreciate the nice things we have. So let's do it, right? Let's just enjoy this, because it's fantastic. Think about it. We have a chance to be celebrating another win, and it's just not a bowl game. This is a playoff game, a playoff game. And New Year's Eve comes in, we play the playoff game, and if we win, we could be bringing in 2022 with a chance to play for a national title. Damn, this has been like a movie season. This, if you could write a movie, like this is Remember the Titans too. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. This is crazy. Unranked. Unranked. Nobody and their mother gave Michigan a chance. Nobody. And then you get the classic interview from Aiden Hutchinson and uh, John and Jim Harbaugh at Big Ten media days, right? And the season starts off good, but then we lose our guy, our Ronnie Bell, and then but new stars are starting to emerge, and then we have our problems, getting scoring in the red zone, and that weird second half against Rutgers that makes everybody still doubt. Then the biggest game, well, then we beat Wisconsin, and everybody's like, oh, maybe this is it, right? Everything's starting to build tension. Oh my God, can Michigan really be real? And everybody's like, nah, Michigan sucks. They haven't played anybody. So you got everything going. And then finally, we play Michigan State, a real midterm challenge for this team, and we lose. And we don't lose, but we lose in such disappointing fashion, right? Allowing a guy run for 197 yards and 5 touchdowns, and losing by three. No, losing by four, and then not having that touchdown count, that sack fumble count. Um, just very disappointing. Now, normally every Michigan team tanks after that, but then they win the next couple games they need to. Then they play Penn State. That getting ready to lose, sack fumble, hold Penn State to three. Fucking injured Eric All grabs the ball and scampers 60 something yards for a touchdown, pulls that game out of the fire, right? And then we play the hated Ohio State Buckeyes, and we beat the shit out of them on a snowy day. The fans rush the field. It's glorious. We go to the Big Ten. We win the Big Ten in the home that Harbaugh. I don't know if Harbaugh played at that field though, because I think they call it the field that Peyton built. So I don't think Harbaugh played for in that stadium, but that's where that's where the Colts play. So it's kind of his home field, whatever. And then Harbaugh's there in the city in which he played for, uh, and we dominate Iowa team, and now we're in the playoff. God, it only ends one way: national title, baby. This is what happens. I'm telling you, it's never been done in the history of college football since the playoff has started. Nobody's ever gone unranked and to the playoff, and we've done that. So if we can do that, why can't we beat Georgia? Why? They're not, like I told you, these guys aren't gods. Just like Ohio State, they're not gods. So they're not Thor, right? Hell, they're not even the Powerpuff Girls. Like, they're regular dudes. We can beat them. We have the talent. I think it's about time we start embracing and just continue to think that we deserve good things. We deserve this national title, And then they're going to go out and earn it, and it's going to be great. So, listen, guys, it is great to be a Michigan Wolverine. It really is fantastic right now to be a Michigan Wolverine. It really is so great. So great. And guys, always remember, go blue.